Okay, hello algebra students. Wanted to go into our next subject. It is special products of polynomials. Okay, it is 7.3. It's a pretty short chapter. Won't be too complicated, but it is advancing our thoughts onto polynomials. Special products of polynomials. You know, while I'm here, I grabbed my calendar. Let me quickly see if there's something that just jumps out at me for a great joke for you. That's not any good. Oh, I think I see a math one. Oh yeah, there we go. Math joke. How can you tell when you're in a math teacher's garden? All of the trees have square roots. Yes. All right, there's your joke. All of the trees have square roots. Okay, so 7.3, I want to go over it. It won't take us very long. It is on page 372, 372. Okay? There's about 3 or 4 patterns you need to know, and it's not challenging. All right, so the first core concept is called the square of a binomial pattern. The square of a binomial pattern. And what that means is, if you have a plus b squared, or a minus b squared. Those are binomial patterns. What that looks like is, if it's plus, everything is plus after you square it. It's a squared on one end, b squared on the other end, and in the middle is ab times 2 of whatever the numbers are, okay? And if it's a minus b squared, it's exactly the same thing, except instead of a plus, it's a minus. You double whatever a times b is. Very simple. So let's look at these examples. Find each product. So the first one says 3x plus 4 squared, which is 3x plus 4 times 3x plus 4. Okay? So you multiply the first terms together, you get 9x squared. And then multiply the two terms together. 3x times 4 is 12x. 3 times 4 is 12 plus x, right? 3x times 4 is 12x, and double it. Multiply it times 2 becomes 24x, and then just square the last term, 16. Okay, so 3x plus 4 squared is 9x squared, plus 24x plus 16, you're just doubling it. All right, here it is with minus, which is 5x minus 2y times 5x minus 2y. Same thing, multiply the two terms at the beginning together, you get 25x squared. Now it's a minus, not a plus, so it's minus. Multiply the two together, I get minus 10xy. Double it, that's 20. 2 times that. Minus 20xy. And then the last term, you just square it. 2y squared. It's always a positive. Plus 4y squared. Okay? Not a big deal. Really, really easy. You guys are very capable of doing this. So as I move to the bottom, we've got our monitoring progress. I'd like you to go ahead and do 1 through 4, please. 1 through 4, pause right now. Okay, so the first one says, number 1, x plus 7 squared. That's x plus 7 times x plus 7. So we square the first two terms. X times x is x squared. Now, times the two together. X times 7 is 7x. Times that by 2. 2 times 7x is 14x. It's a plus because they're both positive. And then square the last two terms. 7 times 7 is 49. And you're done. That's number 1. X squared plus 14x plus 49. All right. Number 2, 7x minus 3 squared. Okay, multiply the first two terms together. 7x times 7x, that's 49x squared. Multiply the terms together. Negative 3 times 7x is negative 21x. Let's multiply that times 2. 2 times negative 21 is negative 42. So negative 42x, and then square the last two terms. Negative 3 times negative 3 is 9. Okay? 49x squared minus 42x plus 9. That's number 2. Number 3, 4x minus y squared, 4x minus y times 4x minus y. Let's multiply the two terms together first. 4x squared is 16x squared. Now I multiply those two terms together. Negative y plus 4 or times 4x is negative 4xy, and I double it. That's negative 8xy. And then square the last terms. Negative y times negative y is y squared. So it's negative 16x squared minus 8xy plus y squared. That's number 3. Number 4, 3m plus n squared. 3m plus n times 3m plus n. Multiply the first two terms together. 3m times 3m is 9m squared. Multiply the two terms together. 3m times n is 3mn. And double it. That becomes 6mn plus 6mn. And then square the last two terms together, n squared. So the answer to number 4 is 9m squared plus 6mn plus n squared. Okay? These are an example of special multiplications of polynomials. All right, next page. Sum and difference patterns. So what this says in the example is, if you have a plus b times a minus b, the result is a squared minus b squared. The terms in the middle go away when you FOIL, okay? So they have an example. 2 examples actually. T plus 5 times t minus 5. I'm going to FOIL it so you can see how that works out. T plus 5 times t minus 5. T times t is t squared. That's f. Oops, it's terrible. First, outside, t times negative 5 minus 5t. Inside, I, t times 5 is plus 5t. And then last is plus 5 times negative 5, which is minus 25. And then we just combine like terms. A negative 5t plus 5t cancels each other out. You're left with t squared minus 25. A square of the first two terms multiplied together, and then the last two terms multiplied together. So t times t is t squared, plus 5 times negative 5 is minus 25. And then b, same thing, we're going to FOIL it. First, 3x times 3x is 9x squared. Outer, 3x times negative y is minus 3xy. Inner, 3x times positive y is plus 3xy. And then last, plus y times minus y is minus y squared. And then we combine like terms. A minus 3xy and a plus 3xy cancels each other out. You're left with 9x squared minus y squared. Multiply the first terms together and then multiply the last terms together. That's all you're doing. These are special sum and difference patterns, okay? All right, so going to skip the next section. We don't have time for that. I'm not as much worried about that. What I want you to do in the monitoring progress is numbers 5, 6, and 7, please. Numbers 5, 6, and 7. Please do those on a piece of paper and a pencil or pen so that you can make sure you're following along. Now is the time to pause. Okay, so number 1 has x plus 10 times x minus 10. What I want you to see right now is you don't actually need to FOIL everything. When you see that it's exactly the same except for the signs are opposite, all you need to do is quickly just multiply the two together. Multiply the first two terms, x squared. Multiply the last two terms. 10 times negative 10 is negative 100. So the answer to number 5 is x squared minus 100. Number 2, you have 2x plus 1 times 2x minus 1. Multiply the first two terms. 2x times 2x is 4x squared. Plus 1 times negative 1 is negative 1. Final answer is 4x squared minus 1. And then the last term is x plus 3y times x minus 3y. Again, multiply the first two terms. X times x is x squared. Plus 3y times negative 3y is minus 9y squared. That is your final answer. X squared minus 9y squared. Those are your special multiplication equations. And then here is a solved in real life problem that I'm not worried about. So that leads us to our homework. This is a pretty brief section. I think you guys are going to handle this just fine. This will be 1 day's worth of work. I'm going to add something else to the second part of the week. Perfectly comfortable with my algebra students handling this effectively. Okay? Have a great day.